Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the NATA PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At NATA PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to this 87th episode of the NATA PR School podcast. For this 87th episode, I'm delighted to welcome one of our students from the NATA PR School, Marie-Pier St-Laurent. Marie-Pier launched her own company, Marine Marketing, just a few months ago, and she decided to enroll in one of our training to create a public relations campaign for one of her clients, le Bon Panier. So you can imagine how ecstatic I am to receive Marie-Pier. She took our program to serve one of her clients. So this is amazing. So Marie-Pier is a digital marketing specialist. And after about 6 years, she worked for different companies and she learned a lot about, of course, today you cannot be a communication specialist or a marketing person without being involved in everything digital. So she's learned a lot and she decided to launch her own company called Marine Marketing. Marine Marketing in English would be marine marketing. That's amazing. It works in English, right? Marine Marketing. Marine Marketing.
That's part of the idea.
Her main goal by creating her own company was to serve clients honestly while making sure they understand her digital marketing services. And I really love her mantra because there's so many companies out there that just tell just about anything. And well, young agencies just tell their clients just about anything. And I've heard so many stories on my side too. So thank you for agreeing to join me, Marie-Pier.
Thank you for inviting me.
And following, I love to do like long intro. And so before we start talking about Le Bon Panier, one of our clients, and we will be talking a little more about Marine Marketing and Marie-Pier, of course, I always start by asking my guest a very simple question, which is, who is Marie-Pier St-Laurent?
To start with, well, thanks for your introduction. To start with, I'm a professional in communication, so I graduated, and actually what I did as a bachelor was, as an undergraduate, I think we say in English, was public relations, interestingly. So I graduated in public relations, and I worked in communications, but as you mentioned, I worked for various companies, but throughout all of my experiences, I've always been involved in marketing, digital marketing, in different levels. So that's what I got really specialized in. And eventually, after working for events organization, after working for agencies, or after working for tourism companies, I decided to go on my own and launch my own digital marketing service.
That's interesting because you also work for a digital marketing agency. Then you went, as I say, on the other side of the mirror and you became a client. So it's interesting. So you know both sides, which is a great advantage, I find. So you understand also your clients and what they're looking for. But probably you've worked with agencies also that weren't responding to your needs and you decided to create your own agency?
Well, as when I was on the other side of the mirror, as you said, like as a client, I could see like the agency's speech. And I was like, I think you don't think I know what you're talking about. And like, that's an approach that I've seen a few times. And that's an approach that has me like wanting to take a totally different approach. Like I want to talk a language that my client will understand. And I want to ask the questions that will have them wondering like, oh, actually, why do I want to do this? What are my objectives? And where do I want to take my company with this marketing initiative? So I want to take them by the hand and say, this is what we're doing. And we're doing this for these reasons to reach these objectives.
Yeah. And listen to this, my friends, because this is very important. And I find that this is very precious what you are proposing, Marie-Pier, because I know many of our clients actually are marketing directors. They've been around for a long time. Sometimes they don't feel that they are up to speed. They're not, so, let's say, web savvy. They don't know everything about, so this is why sometimes they hire very young digital marketers, and they don't understand what they're telling them. So, and I tell them, well, no, listen to me. Your marketing reflex are still good. Like, the basic of marketing, it's still the same at the end of the day, but you need to find someone that's going to be smart enough to explain you why Facebook, why Instagram, why TikTok, why LinkedIn, or what are you going to do and what they have to explain you. You have to understand. If you don't understand, something is fishy.
Totally.
I was telling you that because we always record in French before this one, and I remember one of my clients came to us and said, "Well, our digital marketing agency is proposing this influencer campaign. It was a lot of money. Like, let's say, for a small company, if you decide to spend, I don't know, $50,000 in an influencer campaign, you want to know what's going to happen, right?" And they were proposing only Instagrammers, young Instagrammers as influencers to work with. And I told them, I said, what's your target market? Who are you selling to? And why do you want to do this campaign? He said, well, my market for this product is probably 45 and older, maybe 50 and older. I'm like, yeah, right there, you shouldn't have only Instagrammers. You have to be careful. Maybe you need some people who are very present on Facebook that talk to the 40 plus. And do you want to sell your products or just want to, you want to create awareness? It's, well, I want to sell. I'm like, well, this campaign is not going to bring sales. Mm-hmm. So ask questions. And this is why I really love what you're saying, because you've been on both sides. So you know what your clients are looking for, and you know how to explain to them, well, listen, this is not because the web is so present now that the marketing rules don't apply. They apply. They're still the same. We're still humans at the end of the day. So
totally. And digital marketing is just a new media, but like the message and the idea behind the message and the psychology behind the message remains the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Some people talk about the 3 Ps, the 4 P, the 5 Ps. It's still true at the end of the day,
Totally.
So what led you to enroll to NATA PR School?
Well, I had this client, as you mentioned, Le Bon Panier, which in English would translate to the good basket. And what they're trying to...
yeah, but it works, right?
I guess
Le Bon Panier.
It's nice the great basket, maybe? I don't know.
The great basket.
Anyway, what they are trying to do is... make all small businesses be together on the same platform, on the same online platform, for people from the province of Quebec be able to easily find them. So they did that, and they wanted to lead a public relations campaign. And when I knocked on your door, what I proposed,
I said, well, you should join the program.
Yeah, and I found it really interesting, because this gives me not only the opportunity to put up a PR campaign for my client, but I will keep the knowledge to further apply these bit of knowledge that I've learned, and to apply this for this client, Le Bon Panier.
You have new tools
can also
now.
be applied.
New tools in your basket, let's say.
Totally. That I can further apply to other clients.
Tell me, what was your goal? What was your goal when you came to knock at our door? Why did you come knock at our door?
Well, Le Bon Panier, they wanted to get known. Like, they've been putting a lot of effort into, and I find this interesting because I've seen this in your ad at some point. Are you tired of seeing your competitors having a lot of media coverage and you don't have, even though your product is better? And that's totally the case of Le Bon Panier, because they came up with something that's a very good product. That's an immediate response to something that already exists.
Better than their main competitor, for sure. Yeah.
That's the thing.
This is interesting, because it's exactly what I'm saying. Well, yeah, sometimes you see your competitors, or you see similar products featured all the time, and you're like, wow, we have something better than them, and nobody comes and asks me to talk about my product. Well, we know why. This is what I teach at the NATA PR School, and this is what we did, and this is so interesting, because Le Bon Panier, they have this competitor, which is a huge competitor. A lot of money, millions were put behind this. It's called the Blue Basket, Le Panier Bleu. It's the government that produced this in the province of Quebec in Canada. So they created with a very smart and a nice, they wanted
had
to
a lot of communication budget.
Oh my God. But listen to this. Up to this day, you cannot buy on Le Panier
That's the
Bleu.
thing.
So if
Yeah.
you go in the blue basket, you can buy. But if you go on my friend's here client,
Yeah.
Le Bon Panier, you can buy right away. So this is interesting. Media love that. It's a little like being,
The
how do
little
you call
war
this?
between the big and the
David against Goliath, right?
yeah,
And winning the fight. So media love
totally.
that. This is a great story. When you can oppose something without mentioning, you don't even need to mention the Le Panier Bleu, right? You can say, well, here's who we are and why you're better. But you have to tell them. You have to send that information out there because otherwise they won't find you, right?
Totally. Totally.
And what else
So
did you discover? What else did you learn at the NATA PR school?
a few very interesting things to start with. My perception was that PR, public relations, were highly a function of the contacts that the relationist or the agency had built over the years with journalists, with people from the media. It is true, but not like it's not inaccessible. Like it's possible for anyone, for any company, to build a contact list if it's relevant enough.
Listen, it's possible for everyone. And this is exactly what I'm teaching.
Yeah, to build a contact
Yeah.
list and contact people and actually get your message out there.
Yeah.
And that's the first very interesting thing that I learned that I will keep with me.
Yeah. But what you're saying is not untrue because back in the days, let's say, my God, because I've been around for 30 years. So I know what you're saying is not, it's still true in the sense that PR agency and, these PR people that we know, if you imagine someone back in the days, yes, we had like we call notre petit carnet, our little notebook with our contact, and we knew them because this is what we were doing. We're spending our days on the phone talking to these people, so we were building these relationships. But it's not true anymore, especially after COVID, because with all the changes. Oh my God! We spent so much time, like you did, going on Google, finding who's been talking about your competitors, and then you can look at they might be interested by my client, by Le Bon Panier, if they spoke about the other one, right? And this is what we did, and you had a lot of success.
Totally. And another thing that I learned is very much a research work before everything. So if you do a relevant research and you contact relevant people, like relevant journalists, relevant influencers, that will find you relevant, well, that's where it's your the same way you want to target the right audience. When you're doing PR, you want to target the right journalist, the right influencer that is relevant to your product or to what you have to say. And that way, it's better to reach for a smaller amount of people and a more relevant amount of people versus having
and you've heard me. Some people are coming to me and they have this crazy media list, but maybe you have not even one media in that I don't know, 500 list of contact that you have that is not interested by your product. So you better have 20, sometimes even 10 very good contact, and instead of having like 500 that are not talking about your product. It doesn't make sense to have those crazy lists, but people don't understand that. And the more specific, the more precise, because at the end of the day, we're humans. So humans want to know that you did a little bit of research, that they've been talking about a similar subject. This is the best, I find. So you can write to them. Can you imagine how easy it is? I know it's a lot of research, but Google, you can. It's like almost impossible not to find what you're looking for on Google today because it's such a big beast. And so if you look for any subject, you find information. So you will find people in your market who talked about a similar product. That's a great way of building a list, right? And you did that. So that was really interesting. What else did you learn?
Another interesting thing that I find is that the success will be highly based on how you manage to make yourself relevant to the journalist you're talking to or the influencer you're talking to, the same way they want to be relevant to their audience. So you're nearly talking not directly to them, but you want to talk to their audience nearly directly. So if you can wrap your message in a way that you make yourself relevant to them, in a way that they can nearly just take what you said and push it to their audience, well, that's
Yeah, they're
one
going to
thing
tell
that
your
will help.
story to their
Yeah.
readers or their viewers if it's a radio or a TV station. And it's not complicated. You have to find a why. Why would they talk about you? Sometimes it's very simple. In this case is, well, Le Bon Panier is this, this platform where we have all these local brands and you can buy on these platforms. So that's the message, right?
As opposed to what's already in place and what, yeah.
Yes, that's interesting, right? So, and since COVID, I know my listeners are always interested in what are the new trends emerging. So, what have you discovered? Have you learned about any? Is there any new trends you found that you're using?
Well, we're talking about Le Bon Panier, and it comes it hits the nail on the head, because one of the things that we've seen when I think we collectively took conscience, realized how much of a big difference it makes to support our local businesses, as opposed to when we saw our local businesses being closed and not being able to do business anymore, as opposed to huge companies. I won't name them, we know them, but see them being able to keep doing business because they can sell food, because they were allowed to, and stay open.
Well, we're not going to name any pharmacy, any supermarkets, but just to name those
we know
two,
them,
right?
And this made for all of us realize how important it is to support our local.
And all the small ones had to
businesses.
shut down. You're right.
Yeah.
They had to close. They had to remember. They had to close down their stores, and many of them, first of all, disappeared. Many suffered a lot. So the Bon Panier decided, well, we're going to create something to help them make sales right away.
Yeah.
Not like our government, who created this crazy platform called the Blue Basket, where you can't even sell today. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's very interesting and very
it's
powerful.
It's just basically a catalog where you can find anything.
So the trends are, maybe you've heard me if you listen to this podcast. I talk about this trend that I call the most international trend today is buy local. So every country, since the pandemic, we all realized that we were depending a little too much on China, and every government all over the world emphasizes the fact that we should buy local as much as possible. And it's funny, at the beginning, I remember having a conversation with my partner at the agency, and I'm like, do you think it's going to last, this local thing? And the answer is yes. 2 years ago, I wasn't sure. I'm like, maybe just a trend and then it's going to disappear. But no, it's really a big movement, and I think it's there to stay for many years. We'll see down the road, but so if you want to invest in the fact that you're local, you want to promote the fact, please do. Please, and if you are and people don't know, please tell them.
And I think you can't really go out of trend to some extent, because you can't go wrong with saying, well, this product is local, it's from here. So even if the trend is not as trendy as it is right now, well, you can't go wrong with saying, look at our product versus this product that comes from China. We are local, so buy us. You can't go wrong with this message.
Yeah, because there are other trends beneath those, being sustainable and, being more good for the environment. So, of course, if you are local, good chances are you can even link yourself to these sub-trends that I call them. So, for sure. That's so interesting. And what are your best practice on the web? What are marine marketing best practice on the web?
I think that one that we can't avoid, and I think it's always been a win at any era, but now more than ever, I think authenticity and integrity are unavoidable.
So true.
I think back in the days, maybe in the 80s, 90s, you could go out there and just spam your products and make it very visible and say, buy our products because it's good, without any further explanations.
That's so true. And what comes to my mind is also, those personalities. Some people were coming, let's say, from abroad, and they were changing their name and telling they were Italian chef and da-da-da-da-da. They could tell a whole different story and lie about themselves and present themselves in a new market with being a new persona. Now it's impossible. You have to be real and honest. And we were also mentioning this. We know, especially I think it was true before, but now it's really difficult to hide, because with Google you can find anything on anyone, first of all, and second, everything is so amplified. I find when there's something bad or good, even that the news is spread so fast on social media, and it can go
because people
really,
will do whatever
really
they
fast.
want with it. So they can say anything, and it goes super fast.
Yeah, it
there's
goes
no
fast.
more
So
dead
be
angle.
careful. No, this is why, and this is I'm not specialized in the crisis management, but I know how to do it. And when something happens, or you have a client who's not happy about a service or a product that they bought, and they decide to tell it online. Back in the days, we were saying an unhappy client is telling it to 10 people around him. Now it can be millions of people knowing that he's not happy about something. So you have to go out if you're the owner of the company or you created something and you made a mistake. So you have to say that you made a mistake. Otherwise, it's going to keep building up. It's going to be the damage are going to be really bad if you don't go out and tell the truth.
The best strategy is just to go out there and be super honest and transparent.
Tell the truth. And the second step is tell them what you're going to do. This is what we want to do. We're not going to sell this product anymore, or we're going to whatever. You have to go out and tell people. Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm happy we're not specialized in that, because it's a difficult service. And what are marine marketing's plan in the short term?
Well, as you said, the project Marine Marketing is very recent. So now it's an expansion. My goals right now are expansion goals. I want to find my rhythm. I want to find the rhythm of Marine Marketing. And
she wants new clients, so you can contact her, my friends.
Yeah, totally.
And to wrap up, what can we wish you?
Well, various and stimulating projects.
Yeah, now you can pick and choose. That's the difference. When we work on our own. We can say no to some clients that we don't want to serve, or that we know we're not going to serve well, right?
Yeah, totally. Like the values have to align, and it has to be a match.
Yeah. So thank you so much. It's so great. Now you have all these tools in your bag, so you can serve other clients and help them with creating very simple. It's not, and tell my listeners, it doesn't take long to do that. It's just a few hours. It's not long to do that.
And it's the research is super interesting, and the time you will take for this will just I feel like it can't, if you do a good research job, it can't result in nothing. Eventually you'll get something. And as you say it so often, the combination of PR and social media can be so powerful.
Super powerful.
So, yeah,
you're gonna
really happy
if you do that well,
now.
Then you're gonna have more. You're gonna capture more emails. You're gonna increase your sales. That's guaranteed. Well, voila. Well, thank you, Marie-Pier, and I hope we'll be working on some other projects together for sure.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining and listening to this podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and this what I call PR and marketing little break in your week, and that it inspires you and gives you the time to think about what's happening in your business. And you can sign up also for my program. I forgot to say that in French, but you can sign up for our new program that's going to start on May 4. So I can teach you exactly what I taught to Marie-Pier. You can learn it. So please sign up. The link are going to be below. If you want to, the link for Marie-Pier is also there, and for Le Bon Panier as well. So merci Marie-Pier.
Thanks, Nathalie.
And I hope you'll be joining me next week. À la semaine prochaine. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the NATA PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.